Hello, and welcome to season 3 of Super Pros Bros. I'm player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is.
Player one, Ike, and Marco Brolo. Did you know that this pod is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spoofy?
Thanks, Dan's dad. I did not Rotato, and are those the same places that people could
Like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe?
I think so. I don't know about Spoofy. I don't know if they have the technology for such activities yet. Yeah, Spoofy. uh, so what other giggles are going on in your world, my friend?
Ah, well, it's been an emotionally exhausting week.
Oh,
Yeah, saw Artemis this week.
ah,
Yeah, um, so that was fun.
I'll bet that's the word it really
Yeah, that
means.
was the word. It wasn't bad, just sad mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she is still struggling to get settled and kind of locked in, and that's just sad. I was hoping part of the reason I was hoping that when it would have been sad if I saw it this way, but like I was hoping she'd be happier.
Yep.
So, but like at least there was something that fucking came out of all this mess. Not like she still doesn't look like the same person that I used to date and that I got married to. She
Yep.
still looks subdued and a bit withdrawn, and it's sad. So, um, yeah, that ate most of my week. Um, Eli came over like Thursday night and hung out with me Friday. Otherwise, I played some League and been kind of brain off. That's been my week. Um, and cuddling with my cats too much because the cuddles they have been necessary this week.
Yeah.
Yarp.
Yeah.
So, but how about you?
Yeah, sure, I'll take the mic.
Please do.
So just been practicing getting ready for the pro tour that I'm leaving for literally as soon as I can get all my ducks in a row after this recording. Just yeah, it's been predominantly that. Was it Wednesday? I had a health scare. I'd been taking some new medication, and one of the side effects was, it just elevates your heart rate, and it elevated it a lot too much. I was resting heart rate of about 100 or so, my calculations told me, which I was like, that's too high. And then I
Pretty
was
high.
feeling a sharp tightness and pain in my chest and in my arm. And then when I started to walk in my thigh, and I was like, let's go see the doctor. Luckily, doctor's not that far, copay's not that much, and it ended up being nothing. But it was a annoying development to I think it was my Thursday afternoon. I was just like, fuck me. But over there, it was just like, he's like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna want to lose some weight, probably not helping. It looks like we're gonna run these tests, we'll get them back like next week. I'm like, I'm gonna be in Europe, so okay. Um, so yeah, but that happened when I get back from Europe. I think I'm gonna try to go on a little bit of a healthier diet, kind of make some maneuvers in certain directions, work out more. Been kind of letting going to the gym be on the back burner, really trying to focus on magic as much as I can get myself to. This is I want to do the best I can. Still feeling under prepared, which sucks. But I think I'm in a pretty good space. I'm in a really good space mentally, which I
Good.
like. A lot of great therapy work. Had a great session with my therapist the last 2 days, and really was and am able to revel in how far I've come as a person and how far I've been able to grow in that headspace and just kind of accept things for what they are. when I'm not in an emotional state. Still, sometimes I can get turned up in certain situations, and that's something for me to work on and pay attention to. But just so much of the way I see the world and I'm able to process it is just a much better way that serves me. It's just fucking awesome.
Good.
And being able to say that is a development I've worked on, being able to, acknowledge my growth and work on all that biz. It's just taken so damn long, but I'm here now, so that's fucking rad. Um, so did that. What's that? Yeah, I guess the other thing that I've really been doing of note is my friend Daniel Silver's wedding was yesterday. Dan is one of my best friends and one of my most trusted confidants. He's really helped me on like my mental journey, just being a great friend. And I say this, most well-rounded psychopath with all the love in the world. Uh, we were talking one day, and it just like he knew it already because he is just so well inside his own head. The man is truly a benevolent psychopath in that he just like knows it, is aware of it, and still does good for humanity despite, but is just like has, bless you,
Excuse me.
no human emotions. Like the idea of like anger or anything like that is just like completely lost on him. He's just like, I don't like, he enjoys like teasing these dumb humans who feel emotions and get angry. It's the fucking funniest thing in the world. Like that's his like version of like spiteful malice, is just like teasing Magic players who get angry after they lose a game. It's the fucking funniest thing in the world. But he's an awesome dude and got to go to his wedding yesterday, which was lovely. It was interesting. I think this is like the first Jewish wedding or semi-Jewish wedding I've been to. He's Jewish, his wife is Catholic, which there was no issue there because both of his families are awesome. And also we saw a finished product. There might have been issues earlier, but I don't know. But the wedding itself was like 30 minutes. The service.
Actual ceremony. Yeah.
I was there for then 6 hours afterwards, just chilling, vibing, eating food, hanging out, and I didn't leave late. I didn't leave early. I left when the initial party ended, when like
Yeah.
the parents and the kids went home, but like the young adults were going to go to a bar for I don't know how much longer. But I was like, I got to get up in the morning and do this and then get ready and go. So I'm not going to go out and fucking get turned. So I had like my 2 free drinks, tipped the awesome bartender a couple bucks, hung out, got great conversations, I got to have a very fun, some girl who grew up in San Diego. I wish I could have recorded this. I fucking, on the fly, there was the maid of honor came up and was like, oh, where are you guys from? And she's like, yeah, I hate LA. LA is the worst. I'm like, well, okay, cool. Well, you're here, so that's neat. Where are you from? She goes, and she says the most stereotypical answer, Manhattan. I'm like, okay, neat. From like one big city shitting on another big city. Cool, you're doing it. And then like she was like, yeah, I grew up in San Diego. It was too perfect for me. I'm like, oh, so you're Satan. She goes, what? I was like, yeah, you moved from paradise to hell. Big Apple, red, hell, red. You you left perfection to go to a shithole where everybody just hates for a living, hell. And just like I kept like making like point to point like comparisons. I was fucking cooking. I have never been so proud of my off the cuff fucking comparison. And she was thankfully game enough and not drunk enough that she didn't get like angry about it. She was kind of there trying to like debate, and I was like fucking obliterating her. Partially because I was probably the most sober person in the conversation of like the 6 people surrounding him, because I knew I was driving home, but it's fucking crushing it. It was rad. Uh, and but like more importantly, the wedding itself was phenomenal. Seeing my friend marry the love of his life, or more aptly, probably him being the love of her life. I have never seen somebody without going crazy PDA kiss someone and show love and show like true amorous intrigue like she did. There's little things, but it was so cute and so telling. Like when they're doing the, oh, you may not kiss the bride. Yeah. She kind of grabbed the back of his head, but not in a like horny sort of way, but in a like, this is
No,
mine.
I
Oh my God, I can't believe I get to have this. I'm never letting go.
yeah, no, I know that.
It was so. And when they were walking down the aisle, they stopped. She kissed him again. And she, ever so slightly, as she let go of him, she kind of twirled a little bit of the back of his hair on his head. And I
Yep,
was like, oh, damn. Like, because I used to think the way they interacted, he's always I think I'm using this word correctly, capricious one, kind of impish, problem, not problem boy, but like he likes to poke fun and make silly
sure.
jokes, very much like our dad does with our mom. And she like, grown, I can't believe I'm in a relationship with this guy. It's sweet, she tolerates him, and it's a nice relationship. But I always kind of thought that he was about her, and that she kind of like fell for his charm. 1,000% the other way. Seeing like he loves her, seeing like she is enamored with him, and seeing that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Hmm.
It was flooring, so awesome. So there's no way you're going to hear this, Dan, but you fucking found the real one. I'm so happy for you, bud. And with that annoying happy ending, let's go to some jarring, jaw-dropping, and jovial beginnings. Although looking at this, I'm not sure how many jovial ones there are.
No.
There's a couple. There's a couple. Not many, though.
Not many.
Many. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about our favorite beginnings, why they're our favorite, what we think they do better than, not better than other movies, but what
they excel at.
What they excel at, and what we love them for in the beginning specifically.
Yep.
So what you got up first, my guy?
I love The Incredibles. I can quote far too much of that movie, and I love how it starts. For being a superhero movie, it doesn't start too rambunctious. It starts with an interview, which is like the most mundane shit you could ask for superheroes to do,
Right.
which is hilarious. But it's also really funny seeing a guy who's super strong struggle to put a microphone on. I don't know why, it's just so charming. And just it sets a hilarious paradigm for who the characters think they want to be and who they realize they have to be later. And it sets such an interesting presence. So, I mean, Mr. Incredible is the top of his game. Maybe we could chill the fuck out. And Elastigirl, nah, I'm never gonna slow down. And you get to see them change, and sets up who they're supposed to be so perfectly. Like that, and the whole run up to the wedding is also terrific.
I got time.
Like, shouldn't you be getting ready? Like just stopping car chases and all this is just so casual. Like, yeah,
Maybe you should be a little bit more flexible.
Hey, look, the lady got me. Whack. Yeah, that they could just be casually like resolving crimes and be having banter at the same time. It's just like, what? These people do not live the same way I do. Yeah, it's such a terrific introduction to who the characters are, and to show how different they have to be later because family.
Yeah, it does a great job at setting the groundwork to then, after basically shortly after the intro, you are in them like time skip like 10 years later or 15 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
And they are so different. And
Yep.
so like setting that mold to then immediately shatter it really does. Yeah.
Yeah. And it does such a good job providing a very good reason to shatter it too.
Yeah. You ruined my death. This is fucking...
You spoiled you didn't save my life, you ruined my death.
What a fucking line. So hold on, see if this gets it. To pop off my like that.
You should have said to pop off and then done it, but yes, proceed. Everybody's a critic.
So to pop it off, we've got Lord of War. For those of you who haven't seen it, it starts off with the making and life of a bullet. Just fucking awesome. And it's just everything that goes into it, and then the life it has, ending with being shot into somebody's face. and it's this awesome montage. It's so well done. Has a great ballast system of having like bullet be a constant center screen, so you have this ever moving but unchanging element while everything else around it like scoots around and changes place, and is really emblematic of the movie moving forward in that while it is about bullets and killing people, that's not what it's about at all. It's about business. It's about the unfeeling nature of the character, which, fun fact, the person that movie was based on is the person we traded for that basketball player in Russia who smoked weed and got arrested. What a good deal. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a fantastic movie, but also a fantastic intro of just like being so calculated, putting us into the awesome character that Nicolas Cage plays, Yuri something or other. It's just fucking phenomenal. Sets the stage so well in being so disparate from the material to, again, like in a different way, to put it in contrast to The Incredibles, put the beginning in contrast to what happens later. Lord of War puts it in contrast to what is constantly happening around the character that for the most part never affects the character. And up next, what do we have?
If you know what I started whistling, you know what we're talking about.
That's fucking good, by the way.
Thank you. The first 7 minutes of Up are arguably one of the best love stories ever put to film.
And best sad stories ever put to film.
And it will leave the entire theater fucking crying. Like, it. I think there's about 45 seconds of dialogue, or like 2 minutes of dialogue.
Yeah, it's
and
like
the
first minute.
Yeah, and that is all you need to see of Ellie and I blank on his name relationship, and it just sets it spinning. And it is such a beautiful introspective.
Carl Fredricksen.
Huh?
Carl Fredricksen.
Carl, thank you. It is such a beautiful setup for their life that you get to see play out through effectively little snapshots. And it's just perfect and so sad.
Which, like, again, in contrast, it's like it starts off so happy and serene.
It's so delightful. It's two kids falling in love and getting married. 10 out of 10. Oh, we want to have kids. Oh, we can't have kids. That is such a huge tonal shift too, and just the pan by of her crying in a hospital room with the doctor. Yeah. Like the fact that they can communicate so clearly what that is with no words spoken, and but you know.
It's the emblematic thing, and I believe it was shown in one of my film classes at college of show don't tell. And it was like, you can show so much without a goddamn word, and have it be so heavy hitting and so subtle and so easily done. Like you're saying, it's like 5-7 minutes and it tells a life story that is breathtaking and backbreaking.
Yep. It's just, and then like that is heart-wrenching. But then, you know, it rebounds and hey, we can't have kids, but we can enjoy our time together. But there's always money issues, and then sick, and then gone. Yeah. It's just, oh yeah, we're 7 minutes into this movie. Enjoy. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Which really, I mean, in a similar way with Incredibles, it sets the tone, but not in a juxtaposition, but with 7 minutes, you understand why this man is a Grumposaurus Rex.
Yep.
Why he was like, get the fuck off my porch.
But yeah, it is such an incredible opening. It really, like, it is, the start of it could just be its own movie, and kind of is.
Yeah. It's a better short film than most films are films.
Yes, 100%. Like, yeah, and it is such emotional depth with almost no dialogue. And that is really hard to do. And they do it so fucking well.
Well, speaking of something that they did too fucking well, next up I've got Saving Private Ryan.
Ah, yes, let's reignite some PTSD for people.
For those of you that don't know, as my co-host is so aptly putting it, this movie caused more veteran affair calls than I believe any other non-war event in human history. The amount of veterans, World War II veterans, and I believe others that left the theater because it reminded them too much. They too perfectly captured D-Day and what it was like being in the shit and being in enemy fire, that they were just like transported back, and not to a time that they wanted to be. And we're
Yeah.
like, I need to leave, and just fucking bounced.
Yeah.
Is just like, it's such an astronomical figure. The movie does such a great job of doing that, of doing honor and service to the servicemen who went on that mission and the ones that went on any other, of just being like, yeah, it fucking sucked. This is what it was like. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to have the good guys go doing dumb shit. All the idiots that, the guy that gets his helmet nicked and takes it off like a moron gets promptly fucking KO'd and just fucking shot in the head.
Yeah. Nobody is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
they also, a couple things that inspire likely a future episode. One of the cool things is that there's a lot of small things that play out in the background subtly. It's a medic that gets shot through. He gets shot and his canteen starts leaking water, and it's kind of in the background, and then it starts leaking blood because he got shot through the hip.
Yeah.
Bullet moves faster, water goes out first, then blood follows, and later on, again in the background, you see him bandaging himself. So it does a lot of small things. There's a really fucked up one that, upon further investigation, and they very much, Steven Spielberg was fine with people figuring it out on their own if and when they wanted to. When they finally get up on the beachhead and they're taking the bunkers, a couple guys come out and start speaking. Jesus Christ, sorry. Start speaking in not English. And American soldiers think they're speaking in German, shoot them anyway, which, while fucked up, is something that American soldiers definitely would have done in a combat situation. Why take a prisoner when they were just shooting at you? Fuck those guys, kill them. Makes sense. It's not humanitarian, but it's human. And somebody looked it up, or somebody probably from this country saw it. They're not speaking German, they're speaking Czech. Because a lot of soldiers, not a large amount, but a large amount, not a large percentage of soldiers fighting for the Germans in World War II were conscripted.
Yep.
So what they were saying in Czechoslovakian was, hey, we're Czech, we're not German, we'll defect, please, we'll surrender, we'll fight for you guys. We were being made to fight for them. Please don't shoot. And they were killed anyway. Oof. So much of the horrors of war are shown in a cinematic way that for those who have been there, that was done justice, and for those that weren't, it is an amazing piece of cinema that is just spellbinding. And it really sets the tone, even though up until the end, you don't really have a bombastic fight scene like you do in the intro. It really sets the scene and is fair for those who came before. I need a drink of water, apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're struggling here. let me take it away from you. Continuing on this theme of traumatic and terrible, 28 days later, let's open up a plague.
Got a can of plague here for you.
Yeah, the very opening is effectively a quick teaser into a woman getting her face mauled by a monkey. Because
everybody's favorite.
Yeah, because she can't listen to the scientist who says, no, don't open that box. They're infected. With rage.
Oh, this is it's like the two PETA members, right?
Exactly. Like they break into like a lab, and the guy's like, no, don't open that. They're infected. Yeah, and she opens it, then gets just absolutely fucking bodied by a chimp. And then, roll credits, and the actual kind of proper opening to the film is that Cillian Murphy waking up in a hospital bed alone.
Just because I love the man. It's Killian.
Is it Killian? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I realize I've never actually heard it spoken. Cillian Murphy. So Cillian Murphy wakes up alone in a hospital bed and goes outside to what should be a busy thoroughfare in London, and it is fucking vacant. Which, if you've ever been anywhere in a big city, that is not normal. It being unearthly quiet is not normal, and it's trashed too.
Yeah, which I mean that is normal for London,
Sure, but
as we remember.
but it's like trash cans kicked over in the street
Yeah.
trash. Like this is everything is wrong, and they do such a good job leaving it quiet too, because there's no music.
Yeah,
It's
they just made
just
it
Cillian
eerie
Murphy
as
walking around in
fuck.
empty ass London, and it sets such a good tone of like isolation and being removed, and how terrible thing. Like you don't even know what has gone wrong. You just know that it's really bad,
Yeah, but it's something.
but it's awful. Um, and then he walks into a church, and it's terrible. And Rage Zombies still suck. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think they're definitely up there on the brand of scary zombies. I think Rage is pretty close to the top.
I think that one's the worst because also if the blood gets in you in any way, like that guy gets turned
Yeah, he
like
gets because like a raven flies by and it's like eating carrion.
yeah, and just drops blood in his eyes and he
Yep.
fucking gets infected. Yeah, I think that one's like one of the worst, if not the worst. Also, fun fact, the I believe over 50% of that film's budget is on that opening scene of blocking off that part of London for like a day. And I believe they had exactly one day to shoot that whole entire opener
Oh wow,
because it
I
was so
believe it.
fucking expensive.
I believe it. The rest of that movie is very cheap.
Yeah, it's also at the time Killian is a relative no name. Almost everybody else in the cast is, and it's in very it's in houses. It's in like weird off parts of Britain where like it's gonna be somebody's garage or whatever. Or sorry, garage.
Yeah, I say that and like maybe blocking one tunnel with a bunch of cars would maybe be the other part of that budget, and
Yeah,
then running over them
because why not?
because they do just drive over a bunch of cars, which is kind of awesome. But a
Well,
fucking catastrophe dad, it's such a dope. That made it such a baller. Anyways,
speaking of things that are fucking awesome, the first Matrix when it came out, I believe 1999, has one of the sickest openers of oh fuck yeah that I still have ever seen. I think it still holds up to this day. Maybe not graphically as well as it did or cinematically as well as it did, but it's still so good. And at the time it was groundbreaking cinema that you were seeing just from a, text perspective. Watching crap. I want to get her name right because she doesn't get talked about enough. Who's the actress? It's Carrie Ann Moss playing Trinity of this opening scene where she's like hacking into a computer, or she's like in a room doing this computer thing, and then cops break in, and then the fight scene that ensues, and then the agent showing up and being like, it's like, oh, what's his name? The freaking I'm trying to remember the British actor that is so freaking great in the movie. Oh, Hugo Weaving. He's like, actually, officer, your men are already dead. And just like goes in, she's just like full sail whooping ass. And then like Hugo, one of the agents, I think Hugo Weaving's character, like does the cool shift and becomes like one of the bodies, and you're like, oh fuck. She runs, gets in a phone booth, and transports. There is like no other fucking intro like it. That intro is so busted. It's such a great, here's the world you're in, buckle up, motherfucker. And it just introduces you to so many different aspects of what it's going to be like. And there's still so much more to unravel.
yeah,
I think it does such a great job at piquing your interest without answering your questions.
yeah.
Of you're like, all right, that was fucking cool. Also, I have no idea how any of that's supposed to happen. Like,
Make it make sense. Yeah, I still need to watch. I still have never seen The Matrix.
what? Oh my god,
I know.
so good. All right, what have you seen that
So,
you
but
like?
something I have seen. Mad Max Fury Road is a banger from fucking start to finish, and it, like The Matrix, sets a very clear tone where it's like, oh, buckle in, kiddos. Um, I mean, the first scene is just Max getting run down and taken prisoner, trying to break out and then made prisoner again. Like him just kicking the shit out of a number of war boys and then nearly accidentally jumping off a cliff. Um,
It is kind of cool that they give you that hope that he's gonna escape for a
yeah,
second. You're like, oh, okay, he's gonna escape, and that's gonna be it. Nope, that's not gonna be the movie
nope,
either.
we're gonna throw a bunch of bodies on top of him and dogpile him. Okay, like because I do kind of like that about Max is absolutely he's absolutely stronger. He's absolutely more fit than like the people who take him prisoner. But when you throw 10 of them at him, he's just gonna fucking collapse.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, just when you dogpile a person, which as somebody who's tried to fight 3 people at once, even though they were half my size, nah, it don't work. The second they start to grab you, you just go down. Turns out fighting with 150 pounds attached to you that struggles, nah, it just doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, even after the title card, you go, what, 45 seconds to breathe? And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sets such a good tone. It sets such a good pace. It's just great. And it sets up the scene from where you go from there because it puts you in Immortan Joe's camp. So, just absolute banger of an opening. And who doesn't love seeing Tom Hardy punch a guy in the face? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. So before we move on, I'm kind of curious because there is that like answer the internet kind of question. How many, if you got to have a metal baseball bat, how many 5-year-olds could you take down? If it's an endless wave, how many can you take down before they take you down?
Depends where I am. And it depends on a couple things. One, am I like in a hallway where they can only come from one direction, or am I like a field and they're coming from all directions?
Give answers for both.
Okay, if I'm in a hallway where they can only come from one direction, I'm probably clubbing about 50.
Giving it a solid 50.
I mean, you just swing at an arc over and over again. It's hard to get past that shit. Like, as long as I can keep backpedaling slowly, I'll make them walk over the bodies. Open field and it's from all directions, that number probably gets cut in half because pretty quickly you don't have anywhere to back up to. And they're 5, so maybe not. If they're like hopped up on adrenaline and have no fear, like, and they just charge forward,
I think that's the idea.
Yeah, I'm probably only getting like 20 because eventually I'm just gonna trip because they're gonna just slam into my legs and I'll try to backstep and there will be more 5-year-olds.
Those are good answers. I however wrong it is, I love fucking what is it? The guy from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Glenn Howerton. His answer is like, oh, all of them. They're like, no, but like endless thing goes, yeah, fucking, they're 5. Like, it's a wrong answer, but I fucking love it all the same.
Yeah, that's at a certain point, it's like about fatigue and just do trip. The second you fall over, if you just have 10 5-year-olds pile onto you, you're not getting back up. Like, you're not fucking Halfdur Bjornsson. You're not the world's strongest man. Weight is weight.
I was kind of, as you were talking about this, I was reminded of that clip that I sent you of fucking Eddie. What is it?
Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall taking on those 2 Muppets.
It just fucking throws one. I love it. Like, this is the most fucking cartoon logic way to win a fight. Let me just fucking pick you up and throw you into the ground. Just
you weigh less than I bench.
They weigh less than he curls. Like,
yeah. Thus,
yeah, that dude is like 340 pounds.
If you don't know what we're referring to, just look up Eddie Hall fights 2 influencers on YouTube and enjoy the stupidity of these douche. And they look like they're fucking assholes. Like, just in like the way this had to have happened, because no way Eddie reached out to do this to them. So 100% they reached out and were like, we can take you. And he's like, bet.
I want to see the Nefati brothers. I want to see how big they are.
Not enough.
Do you have like just a quick? No, there's no like.
Yeah, they're not people of interest. They don't have stats.
I know, because I was wondering if like the 2 of them together weighed as much as Eddie Hall, because he was like 360 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big man.
He's a big boy.
The funny thing is, I watched a video of him this morning, and watching him try to do a chin up is the funniest thing because he's so strong, but lifting himself and all of his muscles really fucking hard.
Oh yeah, no, chin ups are the things that absolutely favor smaller people. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I struggle if I'm fresh, I can do 5, and it's a struggle. Other Eli weighs like 120, and he just like can knock out 10, and I'm like, God damn it! Like,
Not fair at all.
yeah, but like you asked me to bench, and I'm like, okay, I can knock out two. I did reps of 205. I could probably do like 240 if I wanted to max it out, or 250 if I wanted to max it out.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I want to get back to being able to rep body weight like 8 times consecutively. That's my goal. But yeah, and they're like struggling for 100 because size. Yeah, just like chin ups. They're just da, da, da. I'm like, I am too large.
So back to the subject at hand.
Yeah, sorry for that rabbit hole.
No, that was lovely. That was great. So
Tell us about some advertising bait and switch.
the movie that's next on my list is Scream. This intro to this movie, even though it is an homage, a little bit of a kind of tongue-in-cheek, like horror comedy, the intro, especially for a candy ass such as myself who does not fuck with horror, I couldn't sleep for days. The intro of a movie that starts off and goes to 1,000 so quick,
Oh yeah,
and spoiler alert for like a 20-year-old movie, kills what you presume is the heroine of the film in the first 5-10 minutes in one of the most harrowing ways of being. And this is like how I know I'm somebody that appreciates freedom and the ability to do not whatever I want, but be able in control of my faculties, be able to control my circumstance, is because she gets her lung punctured and is unable to speak. And that is still one of the most terrifying things about that scene to me, is that she's 3 feet from her parents asking for help, but they can't hear her because she has no way to breathe and get air into her lungs to make sound.
Yeah.
Still thinking about it, that scene fucks me. Like I am not okay.
The scene is so well done, and
Wes Craven, you bastard.
yeah, it's such a good opener. It's so and just, I like the shift where she thinks it's like a prank call and hangs up, and the next call, don't you fucking hang up on me,
fish.
It's like, whoa, this escalated.
Yeah, and then also just it doesn't hold up, but a lot of things don't need to in the moment because emotions, who cares if things are logical. The fact that he's blocking her from calling the police by doing that in the scene is fucking rad and horrifyingly scary. Because at the time, I didn't know if that was a thing or not. And the idea that that could be made me shit my pants.
I was like, actually, yes, because you only had one phone line.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, now that doesn't work because people have cell phones. Like,
yeah.
But when, I mean, fuck, we managed to be the tail end of, like, if you used the internet, you couldn't call. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, you fucking turn on the fax machine. Just, but, so that actually is a thing. Or was a thing, I should say.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, even more horrifying. Jesus. But everything about that scene, the like star quarterback boyfriend just getting gutted and then thrown through the window, and then like I know what you're like looking at wearing whatever, is like, what? It's like it goes from hilarious, oh this is funny, to oh god so fast, and in like change the channel, what you got?
Okay, well my brother takes some Xanax over there and chills out. As much as I don't love necessarily the direction these have gone, they're still good. But the newer series of Star Trek, directed by J.J. Abrams, the first one has such an awesome opening.
Yeah.
It has such a baller fucking last stand and noble sacrifice. Like, Chris Hemsworth is in, I think, 8 minutes of a movie.
Yeah.
And then they trade him for the newer Chris of Chris Pine.
Downgrade if you ask me, but I still love you, Pine.
Fair enough. But, in 8 minutes, you get to see a father and son captain sacrifice himself for his crew, for his family, and just put on a baller last stand. Like, he never really comes back up. there's kind of references to him and his act, and but like you don't need more context for him, for his life, for anything about him. Doesn't matter, and it is such a hopeless fight that he's trying to have because he's hopelessly outgunned. Doesn't matter, and it's awesome. Like that is so you. Even though the rest of the movie was not great, I actually really liked the first one. Still just like, oh shit. So yeah, absolutely banger way to reboot the Star Trek series, in my opinion.
Agree. It is so much fun, and so it really does go from like normal mission to oh shit to, and now we understand why this kid has
got issues.
Got issues. From a different kind of oh shit to another kind of oh shit, we've got the Dark Knight with the clown car intro, shall we say, of a bank robbery gone horribly aright. With the the setup, everybody wearing these masks, and then you learning of the back plot of them just killing each other off to like save money and split it less ways and whatever.
Yeah, one less share.
One less share. And then for it to end with,
oh no, I killed the bus driver.
The bus driver.
What bus driver? The least believable thing about that scene is that no one in traffic fucking stopped to rubberneck and a school bus is backing into a bank. That everything is going as normal on the street is so unbelievable. No, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of a goofy thing. Like, does that happen often?
So one of the best bits I think I like about that is the have a clown mask on, take off clown mask to reveal clown makeup. It's just like kind of awesome. It's just like it is such a hat on a hat, but it's so perfect.
It is such a perfect introduction for Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
He's crazy. You really don't know what he's gonna do next. Because who the fuck wears clown makeup under a clown mask? Who does that?
What kind of man? Well, speaking of crazy and what you don't know what they'll do next, what do you got up?
Gangs of New York is such a fucking bizarre movie, and it's really goddamn long. It's like 3.5 hours.
Thanks, Marty. Martin Scorsese.
Okay. However,
I'm not calling you Marty for
I was
no
like so confused. I'm like, what? But damn, its opener goes hard. And the first like 4 minutes are just seeing people get ready to fight and walking through with a kid in kind of an innocent perspective into a war camp as they're walking out from this like tunnel under New York. And it just has this perpetual beat of a drum and like flute with this kind of like what almost sounds like should be music to get like a Civil War group to march to. Like that seems like the kind of era. It's my best guess. There's probably somebody who could say no, it's whatever. And it ends when Liam Neeson just kicks a door open to this cold winter field where everyone is going to meet and fight. And then it turns into an absolute fucking brawl. And you get to watch Liam Neeson just get fucking waxed.
He does some good fightings.
Oh no, yeah, he absolutely throws down, but he gets gutted, and that is the end. That is.
It's also so weird. I love it, but this is one of those things that, in retrospect, makes no sense. Why are they all fighting if you just take down the king? It's over.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to. In the moment, you're just like, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
was just
why?
Also, I love that apparently fucking Liam Neeson just stayed in character for like the 1 week he was on set and just harassed the other guy constantly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like apparently.
I mean, you got to when you're working across from Daniel Day-Lewis, you got to fucking fight fire with fire, I suppose.
Well, apparently he just fucking like would stand outside Daniel's trailer and just yell, like, "Come on!"
That's awesome. The best part is probably Daniel Day-Lewis was about that shit. It probably got him hard.
I don't know. It's just so fucking funny. Like, just for a week, he just walked around as, I forget what he's called, like not the evangelist, like the preacher,
The priest.
priest. Thank you. Just walked around in character as the priest. Just kind of dope.
Those two are perfectly matched in like actor Hall of Fame at that time when it comes to like doing acting of that caliber and of that kind of stage presence, because they really do. It's really hard to stand up to Daniel Day-Lewis when he wants to go full batshit, but Liam Neeson did a damn great job.
Yeah, he committed to the full batshit, and it showed.
Speaking of full batshit, next up I got Inglourious Bastards with the uncomparable fucking Christoph Waltz, just giving the performance of a lifetime that correctly got him an Oscar.
Yeah, absolutely.
This fucking intro alone was Oscar worthy, and then the rest of the movies just continued to be amazing. But oh my god, it's such a great tense, such a great tense intro, so uncomfortable, and just oh my god, the way he like Quentin Tarantino is in a class of his own with just this scene of the way it's always about food and it's always small. You know, just the, oh, can I, like, the farmer trying to show that he's calm. Can I smoke my pipe? Of course. It's your home. Of course. Can I smoke my pipe? And then pulls out a bigger, more voluptuous pipe and, you know, talks to him and speaks in this way that he's not talking about what he's talking about until it's time to accuse him.
Yeah.
He's just kind of speaking about, it's like, he's talking about the layout of a building and then informed him that he robbed it after he explained every brick. It's so fucking masterful.
Yeah.
I've never, just the way he talks it, he speaks in French and, oh, about your daughters and this and that. And, oh, you know, this, oh. And there's like, basically, there's
it's uncomfortable.
The air of threat without the explosivity of it.
Yep.
And it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, the implication that it's like there's more than what I'm saying here.
Yeah,
just
like you feel threatened when he's talking about cheese.
Yeah,
like it might be like, oh, cheddar is such a great cheese. You're like, I swear to God, I'll give you everything I have. Like it's
just tell me what you want, man. Just,
so awesome. Well, to tone it down a little bit, what you got up next?
Probably the most low key on here.
By
Wally,
far.
by far, Wally. And kind of in the same theme as 28 Days Later, it shows how empty things are. And I do love how it's what is that musical?
Oh, you're looking for the music. I think it's Dancing in the Rain. You're talking about the musical that's in Wally? Hello, Dolly.
Is it Hello, Dolly?
Uh-huh. Put on your Sunday clothes.
Yeah,
it only takes a moment. Yeah. Hello, Dolly.
Okay, just Hello, Dolly. Yeah. Okay, so you're just listening to Put on your Sunday clothes. There's lots of world out there. And it keeps slowly zooming in from Milky Way to Earth. And then it's like, Earth is gross. Zoom in to what I think is like New York. And everything is just trash. And then there's eventually
garbage.
It's all it's just piles of garbage the size of skyscrapers. And it cuts the music and you hear it on the tape recorder that Wally walks around with or rolls around with. And it just echoes because there's no other noise. And it's just that transition sets such a tone of emptiness. There is nothing else there. Wally is alone. Wally's friend is a cockroach he runs into. Like, there is nothing going on. It's so vacant. And so routine. He is making garbage. And
He's cubing garbage. He's not making
He,
garbage.
sorry, he's cubing garbage and collecting. He's trash collecting and cubing, and it puts in perspective how long he's been doing it. When he puts a cube down, his cockroach friend jumps on, and he goes down the ramp on the side of the skyscraper of trash that he's put together. Like, it's so much garbage that it's like, and you're seeing him make one, foot by foot cube at a fucking time. That took years. That took so long to make. And he goes and clocks out, for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah. And plays with his ping pong paddle, or his not ping pong paddle. What's that thing?
I know what you're talking about. It's like
Does it have a name? Was
I don't know, paddle ball, I think.
Paddle with a ball and string. I'm curious. Is this a thing? Yeah, it's paddle ball. You're right.
Okay. And like hits himself in the face and throws it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's, but it's just it's so immediately put into perspective how long it's been, how alone he is, and how routine it is.
Yeah.
In again, essentially no dialogue spoken. Like there's a couple little like advertisement blurbs as he goes by and large. That's it. What's up next?
So while we're sticking around in the post-apocalyptic, we got Children of Men. Children of Men is this fantastic film wherein nobody is able to conceive children anymore. Something's been in the water, something's happened. We are a species that is dying out. And it gives this, it's interesting how much that one difference changes everything and fucks with people's heads, and it changes the society. And the intro is Clive Owen just walking around doing his day-to-day, and they're like, the last child ever born died today. I think he died of a drug overdose or a car accident or something like that. And they're just like, he walks into a coffee shop where everybody's just transfixed to this screen where this information is being shown. And it's really sad. And he just kind of walks in, just very much callous to this world. And he walks through this group of people, gets a cup of coffee, pays for it, and walks out while everybody just like doesn't break eye contact with the screen. He walks out, sets down his coffee, pours a little sugar in there, stirs it, and as he does that, the coffee shop he was just in explodes. And it's just like, holy shit. This is just a truly tragic world. And he sees it and kind of flinches. He's not like completely unfeeling. He didn't drop the bomb there or anything. But it's just this idea of how much, and it does it so succinctly. It's like 3 minutes of there are no more kids being born. This is the end of days, and how much the idea of hopelessness fucks with the human psyche and what we become callous of and capable of in times like that. And it does it so quickly. And also the movie helps that it's shot in London, and I think they intentionally, or if it's not London, it really looks like London. And they did a really good job of dressing everything up in drab, and so that hopelessness is so pervasive to like all these scenes in just these subtle ways, and you feel it so quickly, and it's so just infective, and you are feeling that Clive Owen is, which is like, it's fucking, who cares, fucking worthless, who gives a shit. It's like, woof. Anyway, to brighten the mood, what you got next on your list?
The opener of Fight Club, which is one of the... With a cut in your mouth, you can only speak in vowels. It is one of the few things that because I kind of hate the trope of like, I'm going to show you the future. We're going to show back to how we got here, because so often it's so bad. It's I'm going to be blunt. So often, like, it takes away a lot of the intrigue, the mystery, and Fight Club does it really well. Because man, you go from how did we get here to how did we get here? You're working in a cubicle, like
starting in such a normal circumstance.
Yeah, exactly. And it sets such an interesting precedent with like, what is going to happen to this guy's life? He's ended up with a gun in his mouth. How did he even get here? it's such a good whiplash for question that does take so long to really come up, and it takes its time getting there, so it feels organic, and there is a lot of like you actually forget for a long time that that's where you have to end up. I
Yeah.
think. Um,
No, it very much becomes, oh yeah, that's where we started when we
yeah,
finally get back there.
exactly. Like it does a huge swing in the third act and be like, right, I do remember how this ends up. I got kind of lost on the way here, though. It was a very windy road. So, yeah, and just one of the first spoken lines for your main character is with a gun barrel in your mouth, you only speak in vowels. Such a baller opening.
Such a baller opening, and I don't know about you, but did you immediately put something in your mouth and try to speak in not vowels? Because I think that was my first response, was like I was drinking a beer or a soda, and I just like kind of pushed it in my mouth, and I tried to say like an H or something. I was like, ah, fuck. Totally true.
I actually didn't, but I did think about it. I just didn't have anything on hand. All right, what's next?
So, from one truly troubling movie to another, I've got Sicario.
All right, okay.
Sicario, the first one is amazing. Do not watch the second one. It is such a departure from the first. Partially because they changed directors like fucking idiots.
That'll happen.
Uh, yeah, change directors and change tone and change genres by it. The first one, however, starts off, you're just looking at a house. You're looking at a house, and then you look at a group of like FBI or DEA. I think it's DEA agents or FBI
I think
agents.
it's DEA.
DEA in like a van. You're like, oh shit, shit's about to get real. They go in there, it's real. And then somebody ends up, when Emily Blunt goes into a room, she shoots a shot, or somebody shoots at her and misses, and there's a hole in a wall. And her partner goes over and looks in the hole and sees something troubling inside, and they pull it back, and it's dead bodies that have been liquefying in trash bags that have been put in the walls of this like drop house. And you're like, holy shit, that's fucking crazy. Peels back, starting to get signs of, oh my god, that's fucking nuts. And then they try to go open the fucking basement to the shed, and it explodes. And just every time you think you understand the circumstance, you're shown to be incorrect. And that is such a perfect way to kind of encapsulate that movie, is every time you think you know what's going on, you really fucking don't. And that continues throughout the whole entire movie, and it's fucking awesome. And I won't say another thing, because that movie is to be experienced, not to be explained. So highly recommend, for the amount of, it's not going to give you trauma, but for the amount of troubles and shakes that movie's going to give you, one, they're well worth it in my estimation, and two, there is so little true violence. And I can say that to you, and you're going to disagree with me upon watching it, because you're going to feel shook. And then afterwards, I recommend that you rewatch it and realize how little violence there is in a movie that makes you feel so violated.
Hmm.
But for a movie where there is a lot of violence, but you don't feel violated.
For one that is absolutely not short on it. Dread. Damn, the opener goes hard.
I don't dread rewatching that movie.
No, I sadly never made a second one.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those bittersweet good things have to stop, but still. Dread opens with him responding to a carjacking, I think.
Yeah.
And just, it's watching common criminals try to stand up to proper enforcers. Nah. Also, you get to see how dope his gun is. That is the coolest little invention of that movie, for sure.
Hot shot.
Yeah, just it paints him so with so little spoken. It's just like, oh, this is not a man to fuck with. Oh my god,
Carl Urban, don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he is so menacing. Like, you kind of feel bad for the robbers at a certain point.
Like, oh
It's like
man,
you
they were
guys are
trying.
so fucked. Like, yeah, I think my kind of a line that would sum it up is a line out of The Expanse where Holden asks Amos if he could fight this giant fucking like Martian Marine because he's killed a lot of people. He grew up in Baltimore. He's a hard dude. He's like,
Grew
I'm.
up in Baltimore.
He grew up in like basically he was like in a gang in Baltimore when he grew up.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he's a hard motherfucker to be sure. He's like, could you take her? And he's like, I'm what you would call a talented amateur. They are a professional. It ain't the same game. It's like, no, nah, she would kill me. That is pretty much how it looks. Dread fighting people. It's just like, no,
These
no, no.
poor pedestrians.
Yeah, just you're so fucked. Like, and it just that kind of carries. It's so cool. Like, it is a dope adrenaline action junkie ride, and it sets the stage like, oh, this is what we're in for. This is violent. This is gritty. Get on board, or get the hell out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, hot shot, just the gun switching over.
I said, hot shot.
Yeah, real talk though. Those guns are so cool.
Those guns are fucking rad.
I don't know where they store ammunition because those guns aren't huge, but who cares? They're so cool.
So to go from one movie where it wasn't a fair fight to another where it wasn't a fair fight, we've got the intro to X-Men 2.
Oh, it's so
Hot damn.
Nightcrawler looking absolutely menacing.
Nightcrawler just doing the things that Nightcrawler can do. So fucking awesome. And really cool for the fans because it's so out of character. Nightcrawler is a very pacifistic guy.
He's almost a pacifist.
Yeah, he really doesn't like fighting people. Definitely doesn't like carrying blades. But him getting to have a moment where under a certain circumstance can understandably showcase his powers in a menacing way is fucking rad. And it's such a not a fair fight. Just the Secret Service trying to take on this fucking acrobat with a blade and teleportation. Like, fucking taste it.
Yeah, they are outclassed in a big fucking way. I also love that he uses like a peephole to blink into another room to see where he's going.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Big fan. You can 100% find this on YouTube. I'm probably gonna watch it on YouTube after we finish this episode because
it's like 3 minutes. It's so awesome.
It's so fucking great. Well, I queue it up for later. What's your last one on your list, my friend?
My last one is uncomfortably real for some people, and that is the start of The Invisible Man, where it is somebody escaping domestic violence.
Fun.
Honestly, this movie got slept on. I think it is not your cup of tea, Isaac. It is a horror movie, but it's really fucking good. Like, it is, and the start is, I forget the actress's name. I had to look.
Oh, yeah, she's one from Mad Men.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yep.
Yeah. So it is Elizabeth Moss silently trying to slip out of her abusive boyfriend's mansion. So she drugs him. She has like a bag packed. She goes out to the car, like doesn't take the car, like hands treats to the dog so it stays quiet, and runs. And she has a friend waiting to pick her up on the road, like outside his property. And as she gets in the car, the boyfriend is running at them and like smashes a window. Like, and they drive away with him clinging to the side of the car saying, "You can't fucking leave me."
Oh.
Yeah. That is an uncomfortable reality some people have had to go through.
Yeah.
Because he's an abuser. And she did not have a choice but to try and sneak away. And that very much sets the tone for the rest of the movie, since he basically goes into borderline superpowered or super juiced forms of abuse and gaslighting, and it's so uncomfortable. The whole movie is him sneaking around with a suit that makes him invisible and tormenting her. It's so fucked. It is uncomfortable, and it sets the stage of this man is awful. He is the worst. He can't. He's a megalomaniac egotist who, unfortunately, is really smart. Like, he makes really cool technology.
It sucks that bad people can also be really intelligent.
Yeah, exactly. Like, God, he's just the fucking worst. And yeah, it sets the stage. You know exactly the nature of their relationship, again, with basically no words spoken in the first like 60 seconds, because she is quiet as a fucking church mouse. And you know the second you see him running at the car, it's like, oh.
Yeah. The idea of that scene, I'm picturing it in my head and I'm fucking pissing myself.
Yeah, it's and again, it's one of those that is, for some people, that's way too fucking real. Yeah. Which it's, you know it is well written when you can feel it in your fucking bones. And it absolutely hits that mark. What is our last one on the list here?
Got a little happier one to end on.
Yeah, please, Jesus.
Baby Driver, I believe we talked about it last week.
I think we did. We absolutely talked about it last week. Because we talked about soundtrack being like great.
Yeah. Banger soundtrack and banger intro. So Baby Driver, made by Edgar Wright. One of my favorite movies. Great fucking soundtrack. Great kinetic implementation of music as always, Edgar. However, one of the really cool things is it starts off in this way that is basically a music video to the song Bell Bottoms by, I think, Elvis Presley. Just like, Bell Bottoms. Bell Bottoms. It's just like, Bell Bottoms. Just a sick car driving sequence. Perfect. Very emblematic of the music integration and bank heists. That's the movie. It's simple. It's fun. It's done perfectly because Edgar Wright's at the helm. One of the fun things for me is that this has been a long time coming. So peel back the scenario just for a second.
Yeah.
Edgar Wright, long time ago. When was this?
It was like
2003.
Oh, it's close.
What do you think I'm talking about?
The short that was made.
Oh, it's not a short. He made a music video for Mint Royale.
Right, okay.
For the song Blue Song. And he basically filmed what is effectively the same intro to Baby Driver to their song Blue Song back in 2003 with Noel Fielding from Mighty Boosh, Nick Frost, and Michael Smiley from Spaced. And it's just them doing this like quasi. I think it's supposed to be a bank heist, but it's not really that shown. But it's just Noel Fielding fucking around like I can't remember the name of the lead actor in Baby Driver, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And then, over a decade later, he finally got to make this movie he'd been wanting to. And it pays off. It shows what good craftsmanship, shows what a simple idea when executed to perfection. And just basically, this is one of the few ones where they show the movie in the intro. The movie doesn't, it adds a layer of romance to it. And, where do we go from here? But the movie is the intro. It is a guy that loves music that has to play music a certain way, kind of like I think Edgar Wright does, honestly, with the way he makes his movies. I kind of get that impression about him and, bank heists. The movie. Just so much damn fun. Yeah. And so well shot, so well driven, so well directed. Just so damn well. Before I start gushing about my director man crush, I think we ought to send it to a commercial break, as it were, where we will see you all with our recommendations that you should take to the bank in a bit.
Do you enjoy glorifying serial killers and worshiping crime in all its forms? What? No, of course not. But do you? Don't worry. You're not alone. There are tons of people who get a thrill hearing about the horrible, wacky, and sadistic things that the worst of us will do to one another. And thanks to the forced incarceration of the world during COVID, the desire for true crime documentaries has only ballooned into a social phenomenon rivaled only by the MCU. And whether you want to look at crimes gone wrong, bank robberies gone sideways, or just some of the truly awful and twisted and sadistic things from the minds of Ted Bundy and the like, you can be sure that you'll find someone to narrate it at you in a pace that is just too slow for normal conversation. What are you waiting for? Find your correct criminal today.
Hello! We
Hello.
have returned. Mightier than ever.
That's one narrative.
So, let's go with your, we should go with
Sure.
your recommendation first.
Sure. I technically, I think on our first season, I actually recommended this at one point. And it is a very good feel good show, Hilda. Though at this point, I'm going to re-recommend it. The simple fact that it is actually done. Its final season was put out in 2023, and I think it had like a big kind of like a small movie as its finale that was made as well.
Oh, nice.
So it's 3 seasons and 2 small movies. And I have started rewatching it. It is just as fucking charming as I remember. It is just delightful. It has tremendously good representation and isn't snooty about it, which is probably the right way to do it, in my opinion.
It just is.
It just is. Like, one of the kind of background characters in the Sparrows group, is a woman is a girl who wears a hijab. There's, one of the main friends is a brown girl. The guy is the soft-spoken one. It just does representation well, and it doesn't make a big deal about it. It just is. It's just background setting, but there's clearly diversity there. And it's really, really well done. It's really cutesy. It's really folksy. It's just delightful. There's no huge stakes. There's no huge problems to solve. There's no drama to it necessarily. It's just delightful. It's really good natured. It's really wholesome. It's super fun.
It's a mountain girl and her cute little pet going around and meeting necroids or cryptids.
Yeah, cryptids, not cryptics. And
have I told you my favorite cryptid here in the United States?
No.
Back east somewhere. So there's, cryptids, for those you don't know, are kind of like folklore creatures like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot.
Yep.
And back east, in around one of the lakes, there is a dinosaur monster guy named, I shit you not, Champy.
Good old Champy.
Good old Champy. Oh, look out for Champy, kids. How can you? It's gotta be. I haven't looked too much into the lore because I just want to make my own headcanon. But if they try to make him vicious at all, it's got a Y at the end of it.
Yeah, that does undercut any kind of threat. I'll be honest. That just sounds like what somebody calls their kid after a sports game. Good job, Champy.
Kid after a sports game, their pet. Come here, Champy. God, it's a good Champy. So adorable.
So stupid. It's amazing.
So, for my recommendation this week, hold your applause and gasps. It's a book.
Oh my.
It's called This Is Gonna Hurt, a Secret Diaries of a Junior Doctor by Adam Kay. This is coming from across the pond, where I am headed shortly, from Britain, where this guy was a doctor for going on a decade, and it's just the diary he kept of, fun little memoirs. And so for me, it's very readable because it's these little short stories of his time and how he, understandably, as my brother, when he looked into medicine, got a little bit disillusioned and removed away from it. That being said, there's fucking hilarious tales to be told, such as Monday, 7th, February 2005. My move to surgery has rewarded me with a very first degloving injury.
Oh, I hate this already.
Patient WM is 18 and was out celebrating with friends. After chucking out time, he found himself dancing on the roof of a bus shelter. and then decided to descend to ground level using a handy neighboring lamppost as a fireman's pole. He jumped over to the lamppost and slid down, koala bear style. He unfortunately misjudged the texture of the lamppost. It wasn't the smooth ride he was expecting at all, but a chafing, agonizing, gritting slump to the bottom.
Oh.
He therefore presented to A&E, which is their, like, I think
Their
it's supposed to...
Like their hospital?
I think it's their, what's it called? Where do you go at first when you have, like, a bad injury?
Yeah, like emergency room?
I think it's their, like, kind of emergency room or something close to it. Presented to A&E with a severe grazing to both palms and a complete degloving of his penis.
Oh!
I've seen lots of penises in my brief time in urology and beyond, but this was far away the worst one I've ever seen. Worthy of a rosé if there had only been a place to pin it. A couple of inches of urethra coated with a thin layer of bloody pulp, maybe half a centimeter in diameter in total. It brought to mind a remnant of spaghetti stuck to the bottom of the bowl by a smear of tomato sauce.
God.
Perhaps not surprisingly, WM was upset. His distress was only made worse when he asked if his penis could be re-gloved. Mr. Binns, the consultant, calmly explained that the glove was spread evenly up 8 feet of lamppost in West London and would be hard to obtain.
Oh my god. It's so horrifying. I expected the degloving to be someone's hand.
Yeah.
No, not his junk. I don't think of that as a place to glove, but I guess it fits technically. Oh, lordy. Woo! Okay. Oh, I hate everything about what you just told me. Oh. I am visibly uncomfortable right now.
So if you want to hear more stories like that, check out This Is Gonna Hurt by Adam K.
I feel my balls rescinding into my hips. Jesus Christ. Okay. Where do we go from here? I have a song. Listen to. Get that out of your fucking brain. So it came back up when I shuffled my playlist this week, and just it resonated with me. It's called Industrial Strain by the group Coven, Koven. It is kind of a hard industrial EDM song. It bangs. It's great to drive to. It's great to work out to. It's got a good, heavy, gritty sound to it. Big fan.
So for me, I was driving home from my friend's wedding the other day and just played shuffle and came across a great banger whose name incorrectly belies the tone of the song. Its tone is very fun, kind of light, melodically ponderous, but its title is Death, Pillage, Plunder by Mellah, Mellah. And it's very soothing and light and fun. Makes you a little whimsical and a little thoughtful, but it definitely doesn't scare you like the name kind of implies.
No, it does seem like it should be violent as fuck.
Yeah, it gives off very Viking tones, but it has a very soothing Norse vibrancy to it, comparatively. And I actually have, before we get to our quote off of the week, I have a fun trailer that I found that I felt like needed to be included. Its title is Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person, which is such a kind of in that Japanese anime style naming convention of like, here's the whole entire summary in a sentence.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, not from Japan. I think it's from like Finland or Denmark or something like that. But it's exactly what the title says. Little context as I understand it, and I'll do my best to include it in the show notes. It's a world where vampires and humans, I don't know about coexist, but are both simultaneously existing and quite a known quantity to each other, I believe. And there's this human boy there's this vampire girl who doesn't like the idea. She's kind of like a PETA member in that, going vegan doesn't want to hurt humans, like
Yeah.
sees them as, don't need to hurt them. It's like, well, yeah, but you have to drink blood to exist. She goes, I don't like hurting humans. And then somewhere between running into this boy who is suicidal, like literally his first line, he's like caught. I don't remember what he's doing. And they're like, oh, were you going to hurt this animal? And he goes, no, I would never hurt anything except myself. It like says that verbatim. And like the whole entire room just kind of looks at him like record scratch. Like, the fuck did you just say? And so he's wandering around being an emo bitch boy and comes across this vampire girl. And they, kind of make a pact of some variety. I haven't seen the movie yet because it hasn't been released. And I'm very excited to, at least for the idea of them finding a way to showcase all these ideas. I have a guess how it's going to end, but that's my American brain. And this is a foreign film. So he could commit suicide. They really don't care as much over there. Like over here, this is like 100% the way the movie would end is she finds a way around it, whether it be a cure or whatever, and he doesn't commit suicide and finds a reason to live, and they probably become a couple if it's an American movie.
Yeah.
Foreign movie, all bets are off.
What you're getting.
Yeah, it could be legitimately anything. Well, speaking of a movie where you could get legitimately anything, what is our quip-off this week?
As mentioned earlier, we are going to do a quip-off from the feature film Fight Club.
All right.
And we're going to speak in more than just vowels.
Nice. All right. Let me get up my handy-dandy timer. 2 minutes on the clock. You ready?
Let's do it.
Go.
My God. I've been fucked like that since grade school.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
I am Jack's colon. I get cancer. I kill Jack.
The things you own end up owning you.
Hey, you created me. I didn't create some loser alter ego just to make myself feel better. Take some responsibility.
Hitting bottom is not a weekend retreat. It's not a goddamn seminar. Stop trying to control everything and just let go.
We just had a near-life experience, boys.
I just felt like destroying something beautiful.
The first soap was made from hero's ashes, like the first monkey shot into space.
Wait, where are we? Liposuction clinic.
Out of the land. Patriots.
It's only after we've lost everything that we are free to do anything.
I ran until my muscles burned and my veins pumped battery acid. And then I ran some more.
You're not your fucking khakis.
Do you know what a duvet is?
Sticking feathers up your butt doesn't make you a chicken.
Whoa, okay. You are now firing a gun at your imaginary friend. You're 400 gallons of nitroglycerin.
Glycerin! I'd fight Abe Lincoln.
He's wiring.
I wish I could remember the quote. Now I kind of want to look it up. The fucking we are the all
singing, all dancing crap of the world. Let me find the rest of the quote.
Yeah.
You are not your job. You are not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your fucking khakis. You're the all singing, all dancing crap of the world.
Fuck yeah. And on that cheerful note, that's our episode. So thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please feel free to
like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
But don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.